We're ready.
Yeah, clearly. What's going on?
Oh, same old, same old. You know.
Yeah,
Busy
that's
stuff.
great. How do you like my Pedego store?
Nice.
Not bad.
Is that just a picture behind you?
Yeah, did you see the mug like it disappeared for a second?
Yeah, it's like just the,
He's got no water.
what's there?
That's pretty cool.
It's the virtual background. When I
Hang on.
We don't have Matthew, so we're going to be jumping up and down for customers and the.
no sweat. Today is a review day. Today's a review day. We may not. I mean, depending on how things go. Yeah, no sweat at all. I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident with how things have gone over our last 4 calls. So I'm just gonna get my notepad for you guys.
Well, we'll keep you pretty short.
Yeah, I'm happy with the way things have gone over the last 4 calls. Don't you?
Yeah, you didn't hear what I said.
No, what did you say? I'm sorry.
I said we'll keep your review short.
Oh, thanks.
You said today was review day, so we're
Yes.
reviewing you, right?
Oh, no. The review is we're going to go over the content. In fact, smarty pants. There's always one in every crowd. So yeah, let me remove this background. So we're going to do the review of all this stuff. And then sometimes now is Carly coming on the call? Do you know?
Under the assumption she was. I don't know. I wonder if she thinks it's at 4 o'clock. Oh,
Okay.
we have customers.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. I mean, we've covered all the content.
Sure.
For me, the biggest concern is making sure that, you know, we just kind of go over the table of contents, just get a sense of the flow, and then are there any gaps anywhere at all that anybody has? We can practice them, or is there feedback that you think is important, or questions that you think are important? Like yesterday, I was on with the management team from a store on the West Coast, and they were saying, you know, that they had additional questions regarding, you know, social media, things to be able to, you know, save time. And some of the, you know, they had some very interesting questions regarding, hey, are there tricks that I have in my quiver that we didn't talk about? And I mean, sure, there's a ton of stuff, but it's just a question of what is it specifically that they were looking for. And I'm still adding, right? I mean, so what's traffic like? We haven't seen each other in a week. What's traffic been like for the last week?
The rentals have been fantastic. We're on bikes. I mean, we had a couple of ride backs today, but as of yesterday, we had no bikes to rent.
Good for you.
We had like 2 Pedegos left at the end of the day, and that was it. But all the regular bikes and all the Pedegos had gone out. So
when you're renting the bikes, Kathy, are you renting them out like just for the day, or for the week, or overnight? Like what's the average for you?
it's everything. The people that come in Saturday and Sunday are usually weekly rentals.
Uh-huh.
And then stragglers like Wednesdays, Thursdays, Tuesdays, something like that, they try to do 3-day rentals because they
Okay.
rent for the rest of the week.
Right.
But we don't get a whole lot of day rentals because whatever time you come in, you have it until 10 o'clock the next morning. So if you
Okay.
come in at 10 o'clock, yes, it's a 24-hour rental. But if you come in at 4 o'clock, you're getting it till 10 o'clock the next. And they're like, well, that's not a day rental. I said, and then we always say, it's not considered a day rental. We said, whatever time you come in till 10 o'clock is what you pay for. And that's it's a flat $24 for a regular bike.
So just to clarify, you have a rental rate that's an overnight rental rate is $24. There's Carly. Your daily rental rate is the same thing. Whether you come in at 10 a.m. or you come in at 4 p.m., it doesn't matter. You're paying $24.
Right.
So it's to your best interest. Get to the store early.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no brainer. Hey, Carly.
Hi,
Hey. Hey. Oh,
So well, that's great. I mean, so revenue is good.
Yeah. And it looks like I may have sold a boomerang today.
Have fun. Nice. What? Tell me a little bit about how that went down. What's the story?
Well, he came in yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's looks like much older than what he was. I thought he was probably in his 70s. And while we went out for a test drive, he said, well, I'm 65. I was like, "Ooh." But
Wow.
he's a man with emphysema. And
Okay.
so
Yeah.
here he was in the store trying to catch his breath with the mask on and everything.
Oh my.
So
Yeah.
we got in the new Comfort Cruiser with the pedal assist and the throttle.
Yeah.
And we also got in a new Boomerang. And
Yeah.
so we took the Boomerang out. He really liked that. And when I told him the price, he was like, oh, he has the money. I mean, he drove up in a Mercedes. So,
Okay. Yeah.
but anyway, he went back there. And then he was like hemming and hawing a little bit about the price. And he said, well, what about these bikes here? So I showed him the custom Cruiser with the pedal assist and the throttle. And
By the way.
he liked the idea of coming down $1,000.
Sure.
But I showed him, I said, but the comfort in just your handlebar, the grips are different. And he didn't like that he didn't have the suction, the suspension on the
On the
post.
saddle. Yeah. Yeah. On the post itself.
And even the saddle was different, And so we were trying to piece it together that maybe we could do whatever. And he said, then he gave me the old, well, let me go home and think about it.
What did you say?
Pardon me?
So what did you say?
Well,
to
that's
when he-
that's what I said to him. I said, well, what exactly at this point, Rusty, what do you need to think about? I said, is it the price? Is it, do you really want the bike?
Yeah. Isolate it.
What is it that you have to think about? And he said, it's $3,300 if I'm going to get that bike. And then it's like $2,000 if I want to get this bike. And he
Right.
said, I'm just not sure. And, when I told him about the 5-year warranty, he said, he's got emphysema. He goes, the bike's probably going to outlive me. So he
Wow.
goes, that's not the point, the warranty and everything. But anyway, so he had a whole list of questions when he came in and he wrote down the answers and he said, I'm going back to talk to my brother, Steve.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run both bikes by him and see which one he thinks. Because he's definitely buying one. He just wanted to see what Steve thought as far as which one he should buy.
Right.
So he came back today with his pad of paper and like another whole page of questions.
Oh my God. Wow.
It was great. So just to get more friendly with him and all that kind of stuff, he was in the middle of his questions. And I said, Rusty, before you ask the next one, I'm already married, so don't even go there. So he laughed at that. He got all flustered. And so we had a really great relationship by the time he left. And so he said, the one thing, he goes, I ran all the things by my brother. He goes, Steve told me not to worry about the $1,000, that I should go with the better bike. And I said, Steve's a very smart man. And so anyway, so he went back and forth. He really did not like the color that the one we got in. And I think it's beautiful. It's that spruce green one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But he either wants a dark blue, which the Boomerangs don't come in,
Right.
or he wants black.
Right.
So it looks like he said, I'm going to make a snap decision which of the two bikes I want, and I'm going to call you back tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And,
Great.
so either way, he's going to call tomorrow morning, and we're going to square, which one he's going to get.
There's a lot of things going through my mind here, and I think this is what, if there's anything that I think it's so important that you guys do this on a regular basis, and I've seen this with great sales teams. Debriefing a scenario, like an actual situation like this, there's just so many opportunities for you to go, oh yeah, that's good. Oh, I've learned. And you learn from each other, like, okay, let's just take, like, we've been talking for 5 minutes. What's gone on in the last, like you've had 2 interactions with this guy and you've been able to explain a whole bunch of stuff that, you've been able to apply some of the stuff that you've learned, which is great. And then you've also been able to express, even some new challenges, because even though there's the best, better, good approach, which we talked about, I've got all your, so up here, best, better, good. So now you're down to either or, right? You've got the Boomerang or the Comfort Cruiser. So which is fantastic. And what's great is here's a guy who we would have assumed he was older. I'm guessing ex-smoker, right? And then just a guess, who knows? And then within all of that, it leads me to ask, because now the new Comfort Cruisers, as they are new, like you were able to tell Carly and I in your explanation, okay, so, this one's got the better handlebars. This one's got the better saddle. This one's got the suspension seat post. This one, so all of these things that justify the cost. And then all things being equal, one of the things that I'm a big believer in is you don't want to have to fit yourself to the bike. If you can if you have to fit yourself to the bike, you're less likely to ride it because it's not a pleasure to ride. Where it's like, hey, listen, I get it that this is more money. It's more money because it has all of these features that you lose out on if you go. I mean, you get this one, you still get a Pedego. However, we want you to ride the Pedego that you're going to love. And then the question becomes, for the difference in the money, are you going to love this one as much as you're going to love that one? Because the bike that you love is the one that you're going to ride and love to ride and get all the benefits from it. And that's not being salesy, because what I love about this, Kathy, that one of the A-game pieces that we talked about is, yeah, you want to have high energy, and obviously you're getting you're having some fun with the client, and don't ask the marriage question. I'm already married, which is great. We talk about acknowledge right when they first walk in, but then you're the authority, and then you're still being authentic in the process, right? So he comes in with his whole list of questions, right? And I'll gladly help you out. And you still ask the right question. Like, what is it specifically that you need to think about that because you're serving the hell out of them, right? So
Right.
it's awesome.
One of his other questions was, so if I pay you in cash, would you be able to come down on the price of the bike?
Right. So you're coming back to here, right? What kind of deal can you give me?
Yes.
That's great. And what did you say?
And he said, actually, he didn't want to come down on the price of the bike. He just said, if I pay you in cash so that your credit card, your 1% or whatever, he goes, it'll bring that down. What can you do for me? And so what I ended up telling him was, I can't do anything that way, but if you pay in cash, I can give you the $99 lock that's going to insure your bike. And I also told him I would give him a helmet. And so
That's awesome. So you're right. You're close to your $200 limit, and he gets something in return. He must have loved that.
He did. He was like, yeah, that could work. He said, definitely. So, and really it's only 129. I could even throw the miracle mirror in for him and we're still.
But you don't have to. And what's great is you're halfway in terms of your cost and you're not discounting the bike because the bike is firm. So these are things that, long after I'm gone, I highly suggest that, when a sale gets done or an interaction happens, and I'll give you some of the best examples, like to have a quick huddle where it's like, okay, real quick, you, Carly, Kathy, or you, Shelly, and Matthew, it's like, real quick, what happened here? And just talk it out. Even if you're wrenching and doing other stuff, you can talk it out in terms of what happened, because you're all there as a team to provide, positive reinforcement and feedback. And, one of the things that I find interesting is some people will judge that book by its cover, and they'll have that guy walk in and they won't, the typical bike shop would not take Rusty seriously at all. They wouldn't give him the time of day, right? Meanwhile, in our ecosystem, we care about everybody. We share the opportunity to getting up on two wheels. And what's great is, you can find out, hey, was there something that I said or that I shouldn't have, or was there something that I forgot? So just as an example where you came here where when he said, hey, what can you do for me if I pay you in cash? I mean, that's an ask to buy question. So he's going to buy, right? So now it's just the benefit here is, and again, comes down to, where you're comfortable in terms of your comfort zone. You could say, listen, if I could blank, would you want to do that now? And literally ask for the sale and hold because I mean, I don't know, how much time have you spent with him?
I guess yesterday was about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes. And then today was another 20 minutes?
Yeah, it wasn't super long.
Okay, great. Good for you. Yeah, the fact that you're at this point, now you're just ironing out details. I mean, and if his brother has told him, which is great, you should spend the money on the better quality bike because you're going to enjoy it. The one thing that I'm going to encourage you to consider, and just as something to think about, is putting your customer in the microwave. And what I mean by that, because I'm not legitimately, but it's a term that I like to use. And when you microwave your customer, it's just a good way for you to remember what that means. You've got Rusty who's come in and he's left, and then he comes back in and he's left, and that's great. And because now that he's a be back, you know that you're not spending more money on marketing and whatnot. But what you can do for a guy like Rusty who really wants more information, and you're building up your A game in the process, which A for authority, is you can say, hey, Rusty, you know what? I'd love to send you an article. Like if you got his email address because he signed your test ride waiver, you can send a quick little article to Rusty that would say, and that's putting him in the microwave because he's going to call you, right? And then your phone number would be on the email, and you're not even asking for the sale. You're just saying, you know, hey, Rusty, really appreciated our time together today. It was a lot of fun. I thought that you would appreciate this article, and getting a couple of articles at the ready, putting them on PDF and sending them off to a client. I mean, you know he's going to call you tomorrow. It just solidifies your position, and you're not being salesy at all. It's just, hey, great to see you. It was awesome. Like I'll share with you that I do that. I'll have people direct message me on Instagram or LinkedIn, and then whether it's me or I get my virtual assistant to like text on my behalf. And I the way I put it is hi. I get her to say, hi, this is Mitra. I'm responding to Joe's messages because he's, on calls like this. So she said, she doesn't pretend she's me. She says, hi, I'm Mitra, and I'm responding for Joe, blah, blah, blah. And then click here to set up a Calendly Zoom call. And then I do a two-step process. I do a 15-minute discovery call, and then I call back, and then we set up another call because I do them in 15-minute blocks, and I'm hey, it's 15 minutes, we got to go. But at the end of 15 minutes, I'll say, tell you what, I'm going to email you a couple of things, have a look at them, and then I'll see you on the next call, which could literally be tomorrow or in a couple of days. Well, I'm sending them links to testimonials, and then I'm sending them an article that happens to, be something that I wrote, which adds to my authority, but it's good content, right? So then when I call them back, it's like, and sometimes it's a little homework piece. I'll say, hey, go ahead and, read this and fill this out, so that when I get back on the next call, did you read it? Yeah. Okay. Did you fill out the homework? Yeah. Well, now you know that they've done stuff based on everything that the value that you're giving them. And of course, a couple of, great testimonials. Then at that point, you're literally where you are now. Putting them in the microwave is just that added, check mark that's just going to solidify it. I mean, it would, at this stage of the game, if you were to do that, I would be absolutely shocked that this guy didn't call you, because there is a possibility that he doesn't call, right? But by doing this, you can at least, the fortune's in your follow-up. I mean, it's got to get done. And it's just an extra task that, it's so worth it, especially if it's going to be worth $3,300 to $30 whatever. Is he going to add accessories? Like, did you give him the quote as an example of some of the stuff that he can get?
I didn't put it in a quote, but I showed him all the stuff that we normally put on the bikes. And
perfect.
So
yeah, and that led you to saying, hey, you know what, you can get this, you can get that, but here's the cool thing. I can, like you said, I can get you a lock and a helmet, and you still have room for the mirror, and you're the winner. Bye, Shelly.
What I do is I dress the bike up.
Yeah.
I take the saddlebags and I put it on the thing, and I show them the mirrors and all that. And he said, well, I think I want to put a big basket on the front. Well,
right.
That's not always with the wires coming up and everything.
Yeah, it's not really pretty looking. I get it. Yeah.
The pannier bags, however you say that.
Saddlebags or panniers or panniers. Yeah. Yeah.
They look nicer anyway.
They
And
do.
definitely have more room, you know, if he's going to be doing, he lives by himself, so he's going to be doing a little food shopping and that sort of
Yeah.
thing, you know? So, yeah, that's usually how I tend to show them all the accessories is by putting them on the bike.
And again, like there's a couple of options that you can do with that too, because how much space have you guys got in there in the store?
You want me to give you footage or like small, medium, or large?
How about footage?
We just have a runner in the middle of the store that's
Yeah.
like 6 feet wide by, how far would you say it is? I don't know, 30 feet long?
So, I mean, in your opinion, do you find that you're jammed with bikes? You know, like on a regular day, because do you have any bikes outside, or is there space to move bikes around? Like, can you easily flow through? Have you got room for more bikes if inventory was available?
Oh, if inventory was available, then all the service bikes would go in the trailer out back.
Got it.
Because,
Okay.
you know, now we just got in 5 more bikes. So
Yeah.
now we're getting crowded again. We're gonna have to start saying, okay, when the bikes are done, they've got to go back out in the trailer. Because we've had the room, we keep them here, and it's easier when people come to pick them up. They're right here, right out the door.
Plus, you don't want the store to look completely empty, because it looks kind of bizarre when a bike store is empty. It's like, hey, you're going out of business, right? And perception is reality. So one of the things that I know I spoke to you about was and again, this is an inventory challenge, is having enough bikes on hand where you can load a couple of versions of your popular bikes up, like you said, instead of having to take the time of, here, let me show you what it looks like, and kind of doing a mini install on some of the things, you've got them on the bike already. And another way to get around that is using technology to your advantage. Take a video of the bike and then keep it on your desktop, like the example of the testimonials that I've shown you. I just keep these videos right down my desktop and I click and here you go. And then people can see it. Oh, wow, that looks really cool. Instead of, you know, I'm just looking at ways that are going to provide you the ability to show the bikes off, especially when you don't have all of the inventory right now. Like, it'd be great to have an extra 10 bikes on hand, I'm sure, but good luck, right? So it's just something else as something to put into the old quiver. I sent something over to Matthew called a Vidyard video. I don't know if you ladies have seen this. Vidyard is another way for you to be able to connect with people, and it's absolutely free, and it's really cool. I'm actually gonna see if we can. I'm gonna see if I can show you. It's just not, again, it's a free app. You can get you can go to vidyard.com and you can connect the application to whatever browser you have. So I have Google Chrome. It connects to Chrome. I click on it, and what I do is I create it's an embedded video. So let's say the example for Rusty. Like, you want to take this to the whole other level because you know, sales is about relationships. Yeah, there's technique, and yes, there's the way that we can influence our customer to get them to decide, right? Because as long as we're truly out to help people win-win, then you want to be able to use every tool possible in the world of persuasion without being manipulative. And so what I love is this Vidyard tool, because I'm a believer in relationship marketing. And so what this is, and as a matter of fact, I'll show you. I'll do the old screen share, and I'll share my screen sound. And let me just go to this. So when I go to Vidyard, and that's the link, and I'll continue with Google here. All right. So what I'm going to do in Vidyard is go to my videos. I don't know if you can see this. I sent a video off. Can you see my screen where it's, yeah? So I made a video a couple days ago to someone. Let me open this up. And I know that they opened it because it showed in that little thing. right? So you see that in the background there? So you can hear. Hey, Rich and the team over at Pedego Cape May, it's Joe Marcoux. Rich, really appreciate the fact that we had a chance to talk. And this is for everybody on the team. There's going to be a link below to set up with my Calendly account. I know it only says 30 minutes, but I'll make sure that we have an hour of time to be able to connect. We can do it on the phone. Better yet, even do it via Zoom. That way we can get a better sense of getting to know each other, because the way that we communicate is 7% words, 38% tone, but 55% body language. And I'm sure you've heard all these statistics before from some guy. Anyways, my point of it, though, is what I've done is using that application. I literally put it onto this. You record, so you could say, hey, Rusty. And so if Rusty gets this email where you see it kind of moving for a few seconds, right? So it embeds for free in the email. So if you're getting an email and you see your name on it and it's kind of floating around, you kind of go, and it says, you know, click here to check out this cool video I made you. And it's a 60-second message of, hey, Rusty, it's Kathy over here at Pedego 58. I actually attached to this email an article that I think you'd really find really cool. And then down below, we've got a couple of testimonials of people that have bought a boomerang, just like what you bought. I think it's going to be great. I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. Like, holy crap. Like, it's just so, to me, it's like sending a card in the mail, right? Like, you're doing something that nobody else just takes the frickin' time to do anymore. And I want you guys to stand out from your competition. Like, not that you have competition per se, but you know, whether it's competition or not, I want you to be standing out in the minds of your client. Like, I want your customers to go, these people are like, they feel indebted to you because they know that you're going to be taking care of them. It's not just about making the sale, it's the long-term relationship, right? So I'll make a point of, I know I sent a Vidyard video to Matthew, but yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put it up on your list of stuff to do and just put Vidyard, which leads me to, I have to ask, I know the quotes are done. We have stuff to do. On the last call, everybody was laughing because Tony didn't get some stuff done. So I'm curious now, a week later, and I don't know who Tony is, but we talked about it.
It's
Kathy, you're here.
Well, Shelley's over here in me.
Tony's my husband.
Tony is her husband and he's working on it.
It's my fault. I didn't tell him about it until like literally last weekend.
All right, well, you know what?
Because you know how it
Kathy,
is.
you can grab Shelly and give her a little slap on the
I
wrist.
don't work like with him. He works down with the bikes, and it just, and then when you're at home, you know, it's a different environment.
I know.
Not thinking-
Yeah, I totally get it.
I brought it up to him over the weekend.
I wouldn't know about that. Matthew lives with us right now.
Yeah.
We talk bikes 24/7. So
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And it's one of the challenges. Like, Shauna and I work together on a couple of different projects, not just sales training. And then I've got my SOS dojo outside of the bike ecosystem, and we've got lead cycles. And so it's easy to get caught up in work. And like, tonight is date night. Like, Thursday night is date night. So like, we have to shut it off. And it's one of the things I'll show you. So right here on my desk, on the hutch here, that's my perfect week formula. So on Thursday nights is date night. So after, and it's like, and that's a non-negotiable. Like, for me, if my prime minister called, or if your president called and said, hey, Joe, we'd like to have dinner Thursday, I'd be like, well, is Wednesday or Friday good? Because it ain't happening. Can you hear me okay?
yeah, Wednesday or Friday wouldn't be good for me either.
Yeah, it ain't happening. Thursday night is my night with Shauna, period. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you got to have non-negotiables. So, all right, well, hey, Shelly, then let's make sure that, yeah, those items, I'll make a point. I'm going to follow up with Matthew then. Because, I mean, my goal is that, you know, as doing coaching as well, is, you know, accountability is key. So I'm going to accountability to Matthew.
No, Tony knows now, believe me, Tony will get it done. It was
Oh,
just
yeah.
a matter of Shelley telling Tony that was. the
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So
All I want is I'm going to ask Matthew to send me an email with, you know, a pic, or just send me a text. I just want to see it. I mean, listen, it makes no difference to me at this point. What like, you know, financially, it makes no difference. What matters is I just want to make sure that it helps you guys. I want you guys to be successful. And I know these little things, like putting up the map that shows the delivery time, their delivery costs, like that makes a difference for people. The other thing was the service rates of what was the average service rate? Do we know? Or Tony's looking into that? Or did you guys call around?
no, we called around and it was much lower than what you had said. I think it was,
Really?
oh yeah. Yeah, it was close to what we're paying. We charge 35 and I think the average was right around 45.
Okay. So are you going to bump it up to 45?
That's Matthew's doing. We don't have any say in that.
Yeah, I would encourage him to. I think that because you're such a specialized store with your expertise in bikes overall, I mean, bumping your prices up, nobody's going to turn away. It's just going to, you know, you're allowed. I don't think making money is a bad thing, because it pays for you. You're putting food on the table and pay. You know, nobody's going to get rich owning a bike store. Like, nobody becomes a millionaire unless you own like 20 to 30 bike shops. You know, like everybody has the right to be able to make a little bit of money. And 35 is, like, honestly, it's the cheapest I've ever heard out of all the Pedego stores. So again, that's just information for Matthew. I just want him to be able to, you know, have a bit of cream in his coffee once in a while instead of skim milk. That's all.
He gets
It's
Dunkin'
okay.
Donuts.
What's that?
He gets Dunkin' Donuts 3 times a day.
Does he really? Okay, make it at the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mhm.
All right. So how about for the three of you? I mean, I'm gonna have a conversation with Matthew a little bit later. I'll make sure I set up a Zoom call. But for the three of you, what were some of the biggest takeaways that you got out of the calls that we've done over the last couple weeks? Don't all start at the same time. Yeah, that's big. You know what, Kathy? That's bang on. As salespeople, you know, just not talking, it's a challenge. So that's good. How about you, Shelley? What was a big takeaway? What was something that you really enjoyed?
Saved by the bell.
No, she'll get it. The phone's ringing.
Yeah.
I think it was helpful to have, as much as the role playing was uncomfortable, just to get those words in my head for when I do get those situations in real life.
Yeah.
And I put them into my own words. Just
Of course.
a lot of times, like me and Carly were saying, oh, I want to go home and research it. Okay, give us a call when you figure out if you want it or not. So just
Right.
having something to keep them there a little bit longer has been helpful.
That's great. That's great. How about you, Carly? What was a big takeaway?
The same kind of thing. I mean, it was just knowing what to say when all these other types of questions would come up, instead of you just standing there and freezing on the spot thinking, okay. Or just, I mean, my issue right from the beginning was I never pushed people to go on the Pedegos. I
Right.
kind of sort of, I would give them a card and say, oh, come back and have like an hour's free rental and stuff on us, but never push them, because that's just, you know, it's just the way I am. But
Right.
the thing is, if you ask too many people, they're automatically going to say, oh, we'll come back another day, we'll come back later. Once we've got the batteries and stuff like just in the doorway and you put them in and stuff, they're more excited to at least have a go. And then
Yeah.
after that, it makes, when you're trying to explain the Pedegos in a bit more detail, it makes more sense to them because they know how the bike feels.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
the other issue I was going to ask, so the other day we had a couple come in and we were talking about Pedegos. What do you do when you get no, so it was a couple, the Pedego was for her in particular. She was okay, a little quiet. He just blanked me the entire time. I put them both on Pedegos. They both had a ride. when he came back, I was like, oh, how was it? How did it feel? And he just got off the bike and walked in the store and took his helmet off, and there was just nothing, no reaction whatsoever. She wanted to buy it there and then. He wanted to discuss it, and I asked him if there was any other questions and stuff that we didn't get the chance to go through. She asked me to send her the quote and stuff, so she was happy about it. But he was just odd, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, so I don't have all the details from you, Carly. But what it seems to me, and again, I want to be very clear. I didn't see his facial expression at all, but you're telling me he's emotionless. So what comes to mind? This is a great conversation to be able to have with the rest of the team, right? These are these mini debriefs that I think it's important, because sometimes it could just very well be. And Carly, do not take this personally. Right? That's the other thing, right? Sometimes, and I've had this happen, sometimes somebody just, I'm dealing with a couple, same thing, and Mrs. Customer totally, like, we're hitting it off, and he just, for whatever, he just doesn't like me. And so then at that point, I've got to go, okay, drop the ego, Joe, and maybe get somebody else and tag off and go, you know what? I want to introduce you to somebody. I want to introduce you to Kathy. I want to introduce you to Shelly. They're really, they know a lot about this. I think that because I don't, it could be that. It could be, and I'm not speaking for all men, but there's some guys that are complete jerks, right? As we well know, on both sexes. In this particular case, some guys just will refuse to buy these types of items from women because they're just completely like, I don't understand why. Right. I've seen it where and I don't understand it. Like, I can tell you there are, and I would say thousands of women that know more about bicycles than I'll ever know. And I'm talking like there's women mechanics that would knock my socks right off, because they're awesome. And I think that there's based on what you just explained, I can only guess, because Carly, I mean, I've gotten to know you over the last couple of weeks just via video, and I mean, you're super polite, super pleasant, bubbly personality. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And if she likes it, I
was going to say, I mean, sometimes it's tough because I know that the whole thing with masks can put people in a right funny mood anyway because they don't like it, and I think obviously it's hot and stuff like that. So I think there are a number of things wrong with him, but it's really distracting because you're trying to do what you're supposed to do. And she was fine, and she was asking questions and stuff, but he put a big dampener on the whole thing. And I don't think it would have mattered what I did. He just, for some reason, he just had some kind of issue.
Yeah. The only piece of advice that I can offer you in this particular scenario is put all 100. Like, I mean, if he's being completely closed, okay, she loves it. Focus all your energy on her.
Right. I was going to say, that's why I took her email address and I made sure the quote was through her. I know that she asked Matthew a couple of questions via email and stuff, but it was just uncomfortable because it didn't matter what I did. There was just nothing there. I mean, I've never seen anyone go out on a Pedego and, not come around the corner with a smile, and there was just nothing there at all. And I couldn't work out if he enjoyed it, if he liked it a tiny bit, if he hated it. There was just nothing there.
Yeah, I'd have to. Shelly and Kathy, any feedback on that? What do you guys think?
I didn't hear the beginning of it. I was on the phone, but
Carly, do you mind just recapping real quick with the rest of the
basically, so Shelley was with us that day when we were working. So we had a couple that came in, and as soon as we got the sparkling blue Interceptor, that's what they were interested in. So we took that out. We took the Seaphone Interceptor out. They went around in the parking lot, but she loved it. She wanted to take the sparkling blue one home there and then. But there was just no reaction the entire time. When I asked him when he came back from the test ride, did he enjoy it? Nothing. He just got off the bike, walked in the store. didn't comment, didn't ask me a question, didn't, I mean, I even said to him, any questions? She asked me a couple. He just, there was just nothing. I couldn't work out if he was happy, sad, mad, or what. It was weird.
I think if I would have been in that situation, I usually look at him right in the eye and say, you are by far the first person I did not get a reaction of this bike. What was it?
Right.
Did you like it? Didn't you, like,
Right.
tell me something about this. I can't believe you weren't smiling. Everybody smiles. As soon as that pedal assist gets started, I
Yeah.
said that the best part of my job is the reaction that I get. And I got no reaction from you. Please
Yeah.
tell me, what didn't you like about it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kathy brings up a really good point. I mean, there's at this stage you've got nothing to lose. I mean, if he's gotten on the bike, then at least he's had the experience. So then the question becomes, like again, I'm going to focus on the person who's loving it for sure, but I would still be curious. I mean, and you had mentioned, Carly, that the bike was to be purchased for her. I mean, they came in on a fact-finding mission for her.
Right, and what she wanted to take 2 of them out. I don't know whether her plan was to maybe, for them to both get 2, but I don't know. But she wanted to take both of them out so they could try them out together, which was fine. And they were, 2 of the really nicest color bikes that we have in the store right now. And, she was asking questions, and I was making sure that I was focusing on both of them, not to, make it awkward and stuff. But I think I've never ever had that. I mean, I've had people come back from a test ride and not be completely in love with it, but then they ask you questions or they tell you why. He just walked straight past me and went into the store. He didn't even acknowledge that I was there. That was what was odd.
Yeah, I've had people that have been rude, but to completely ignore me like that, and of course that affects you.
Right.
Because it's like you're going, what did I do wrong?
Right.
And you've done nothing wrong, Carly. This is the whole thing. I think it's important. I think in these situations, it's really important to lean on your team members and talk to them about it, because we're human beings. We're emotional creatures. And as such, if I feel like I've done something wrong, it's going to affect my performance with other people when they come in, right? So that all of a sudden we start questioning, like, what's going on? And it's up to Kathy, Shelley, and Matthew to like pick you up and bring you back to, okay, like, keep playing your A game, Carly. And I'm here to tell you, keep playing your A game, because you've got great energy. You wouldn't be a part of this team if you were a witch, right? Nobody would want you to be there. So you're a good person. You've got great energy. You've got all the tools. You've got experience with doing retail. So and you love the product. You know what it does for people. Like all the reasons why are we've talked about it. There's going to be occasionally one bad apple.
Right.
It's going to be challenging to sometimes figure it out. Just in this particular case, you just water off a duck's back. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's any extra feedback, because Shelley, you were there. Did you hear any of the interaction with this? I'm going to call this Mr. Rude.
Yeah.
I started talking to them, but I honestly didn't notice the indifference on him, because I wasn't the one. I was probably on the phone or dealing with other customers. So I didn't really hear him talk, and I heard her mostly talking to the wife, but she explained it to me afterwards, but I didn't notice it at the time. So I wasn't, fully paying attention and noticing he was being very indifferent about everything.
Right. But can you see the benefit? Can you see the benefit of just doing this, just having this little mini huddle? It's like 5 minutes of, and for Carly's sake, it's your job, both of you, Shelley and Kathy, to, okay, Carly, let's go. We're lifting you back up. You're good. Because you got to celebrate all wins. So what's the win in this? The win is that his wife, Mrs. Customer, had a great experience. She smiled. She enjoyed it. You got her email address. You're able to follow up. I mean, I'm listing off 5 awesome things that have happened here, right? Okay, so he's an asshole. Next. You're not, and you know that you're not. So, you know, that's great. And whenever you get a win where it's a sale or a rental or you have the time to debrief, it just keeps building momentum because, like, that's the other thing. Success loves speed. Like it's just like, okay, let's build on that. Because it's easy, you know, like the object in motion tends to stay in motion, but if at rest, it tends to stay at rest. It's so easy to get caught up in the negative part. But I think of all the pluses that you had mentioned beyond this Mr. Rude. Okay, I mean, he could have just gotten up on the wrong side of the bed, or you know, who knows?
Maybe some people like don't want to show that they're excited because they think that, you know, I don't know. Don't they say
You're right.
to act excited when you go to look at houses or cars because you don't want them to
Pay
you
full
want-
price.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that type of customer. I don't know. That's the only thing that I can think. Or
You're-
just
that's-
always quiet.
In that, you know, Shelley, that's great, because what that does is that it reaffirms the fact that this customer loves to negotiate. We talked about that. Like a lot of our Pedego end users, they are negotiators just by habit, and you know they want to come like Rusty, right? And Rusty's even said, I don't have a lot of time to live in, you know, so many words. And yet he's still hammering for a deal. It's like, yeah, everybody wants a deal. It's you know, and it comes back to, is it about you losing money or for them just feeling good? They just want to feel good, like they feel like they got something.
Matthew gets bent out of shape sometimes when people try to wheel and deal. I love the wheel and deal. I mean, that's the American way, you might say.
You're right.
It is.
The beauty of this is now Matthew's given you like a level of autonomy, right? You've got a $200 limit or a battery to play with, and $200 worth of accessories, and you don't have to say to the customer, I'm going to give you $200 worth of accessories. Like, you know, this is what's fun, Kathy, is you get to play wheel and deal with the customer, right? And go, okay, yeah, well, what'd you have in mind? And you get to play this game over here, and you have your limit. You don't have to go talk to Matthew anymore. It's like, no, we're not going to do it this way. I'm going to bring you back in. And because, yeah, I mean, I when I had my fitness stores, I didn't understand it either, because we were providing, you know, personal training, programming, nutrition guidance on top of you're buying a treadmill. And I mean, today, personal training, nutrition planning, like you're paying hundreds of dollars a month for that. And we were giving it away, and people were grinding the crap out of us for it. And it was like, this is like, so I was feeling like Matthew. It was like, this is brutal. So we stopped giving away all that stuff. We're selling our products at manufacturer suggested retail price anyways. And then we developed this, and it just totally saved us a bunch of grief, because it was policy. That was it. And not everybody got the same deal. Some people paid full price because they were happy to. And some people got a little bit extra for it because they were those negotiators. Hey, there's Matthew. You're back.
I've been listening to people badmouth me.
Oh yeah, it's been awful. So, Matthew, just real quick, did you get that Vidyard video that I sent you? The one that started off like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I showed Carly, Shelley, and Kathy that it's an app that you can get for free. So, yeah, free's my favorite.
My favorite.
Yeah. Free lottery ticket with the winning numbers. Now, that's my real favorite, but that I've never had that. But, yeah, use Vidyard to follow up. Set it up on your browser. You'll get a lot out of it.
Awesome.
What about who are your biggest competitors right now? Is it Rad?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we
Or is
see
it other Pedego stores?
Brad or Trex, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Either one of those two. We see about the same in both, but we don't see a whole lot of them.
Okay. Even on the island, like you don't see a lot of other brands. It's mostly you guys.
No, no, just
I,
Couple
I've
people here
saw-
and there.
I've seen a rad. And then the other day I saw some people, it was yesterday, some people, and I go, oh, there's Pedegos. And I go, no, those aren't Pedegos. I don't know what brand they were because I was in my car and they were driving by.
Okay. So you knew that they were an electric bike though, because they had a,
The battery and stuff. Then I was looking for our bag and it was a different, it's because we have those Pedego, the Pannier.
yep.
No, not the
big
Pannier,
brown,
but the
shorter
whatever, the
ones.
black ones that say Pedego real big on them. Unless there were their own Pedegos and they had a different bag. I don't know. I don't know enough what other bikes look like enough to see that visually be able to recognize what they are, except for our
Yeah.
bikes. And
Okay.
then I've seen a rad and I don't know that I've seen any other brands
Okay.
up close, you know.
So going other than inventory, which we have no control over, going forward now and your season for you is going to end when specifically?
October.
And it do you keep it? Is the store going to be open over the winter?
Mhm.
Reduced hours?
As far as we know, we'll have minimal hours, maybe long weekends, something like that, maybe closed Tuesday, Wednesdays, maybe
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
Okay.
It's hard to say because last year we closed completely because we had to renovate the 2 shops.
Okay.
We had to shut them.
There's a few of the stores that I'm currently dealing with because of COVID, what they're doing, and some are Pedego stores, some are not, but it doesn't matter. I mean, what matters is that there are tools when you're closed that you can still use to generate business. And there's some stores, because of COVID, what they're doing is they're closed all the time. They're setting themselves up by appointment only. And so, again, taking my information like spare ribs, keep the meat, throw away the bone. What I'm going to encourage you to look at is getting this tool, which is called Calendly. I use it on all my business, and it's even on my website. So I have different things set up where you can call and set up appointments and whatnot. Or what I can do is, let's say if I want to set up a 15-minute phone call, I can just click the link and then throw it into an email. And so if I do this, then I just, paste it into an email, and then, we're golden. Calendly is free. Like, it's great. So if you go to my website, for example, somebody can schedule a call with me, and then they just pick what they want to schedule. Well, you can have this set up where it's schedule an appointment at our store. So I've had certain Pedego stores call up Pedego corporate and say, I want a Calendly link on my website. And now, like just yesterday, I just finished up with Pedego Santa Rosa, and that's exactly what he's doing. And it's a great tool. This saves you a ton of time, because you don't have anybody, like, if you've got somebody who's booking an appointment, you know that they're serious. Right? Now, you could do an appointment on Zoom, but you could, it gives you options. It doesn't have to be a phone call or a video call. You can say, you can choose the option of meet at location, and then you just put the location in, and then you and the prospect get an email, and then you can also have a reminder email that goes out to both you and the prospect a couple of hours before, or you can set up like a sequence where it's like, the day before, hey, Harley, don't forget, we've got, you have an appointment at Pedego 58 tomorrow morning at 10. And then you could say 2 hours before and 30 minutes before, just a couple of quick reminders go out. So, I mean, it really solidifies, A, the professionalism of the operation, and B, nobody ever forgets shit, which is great, right? Because especially on your days off, or if you're closed, you don't want to show up and then have somebody ghost you. I mean, that's just like, right? I don't want to have that happen for you. So some stores right now are considering whenever the new normal actually hits and COVID is behind us, some stores are saying, you know what, I'm considering never reopening my retail store again. It'll just be by appointment only. Again, they're not like you guys where like they're not dependent on rentals. But at least in the slow season, you can have that kind of approach where if you want to be able to take advantage of somebody who's actually serious, and it's something to consider. That's all. So, again, it's free. I mean, it'd be different if there was a cost to it, but the fact that it's free. So now you've got Vidyard that's free. You've got Calendly that's free, and that's just going to save you a ton of time. How have you guys been doing over the last week with the use of video on your phone? Has anybody done a testimonial with any customer at all? No? Any particular reason why?
Yeah, we haven't sold anything.
Okay. Have you had any? So you've got rental customers, right? You could still do that with your rental customers. It's content that'll go up onto your content wheel, right? So this gets stuff that gets people, just get it out there. Costs you nothing. So even a rental customer, it's like, hey, Shelly, welcome back. How was your day today? It was awesome. Great. Can we do a quick video just for fun? Right? Going back to the just for fun. It's like, hey, it's Kathy here from Pedego 58. I'm with Shelly. She just, finished a rental. How was your day today? What did you do today? What was your best part of your day? You're just asking a few quick questions. If you want to have a day like Shelly had, come visit us, CLR, bye, and just throw it up on your social media. And then what you'd want to do is you'd want to have a link to enter to win something so that you can get people's email addresses so that you can keep marketing to them, right? It's not just branding. You want to get people on your email because email is, the way to go. So I'm gonna challenge you to try doing some videos. And by the way, the first couple times you do video, you're gonna suck. You're gonna totally suck. Like you will. It's just how it works. Think back to the first time you rode a bike, right? Like when you're a kid, like you suck at it. I use this example in an email in one of my email sequences. Think of a baby. First time a baby tries to learn how to walk, they suck. They're falling all over the place. The important part of it is, and here's the cool thing, a baby doesn't have an emotional response to the fact that they suck. In fact, everybody around the baby, there's nobody going, oh, stay on the ground, you suck at. No, nobody. Everybody is saying, okay, baby, you can do it. Okay, and everybody's excited when the baby just even starts to kind of get up and falls over. And it's funny because last night I was at a birthday party for a girlfriend of ours. It was her 50th, and there was a little girl there. Her name was Finley, and I don't know what it was. She was like, she would not let, like there were like 25 people there, all scattered, and this little person, and a wet diaper. Like it was like I was like, hey mom, you gotta come get your kid. Like it was awful. Like it was leaking. It was bad. But anyways, I didn't have the heart to, say to the little, like, it wasn't the little person's fault. But then, I was thinking about that, and I was writing an email for the exact same reason. We never say to the little kids, hey, I'm going to push you down and make you feel bad. We encourage them. Well, I'm saying this to us. We know that we're going to suck anytime we try to do something that's new, we're going to be shitty at it. That's okay. The only way you get better is when you do it, right? Yeah. I was going to ask, can you name me one thing where you were like pro, as good as anybody else the first time you did it? Be careful. Be careful with your responses. This is being recorded. Everybody's mind is in the gutter. You guys are terrible. All right. Excellent. But the other thing too, though, is be accountable to each other. I know it's getting outside of your comfort zone, but I can promise you these things that are like making video, it is uncomfortable. But by doing that, it will actually propel your business. And what's really neat is when you do this stuff that we talked about previously, it takes you off of Emerald Island, because there will be people that will call you, and now you have the opportunity to potentially sell them something in another area. And that comes back to giving good phone and, you know, and drop shipping. And that's part of your business. Question for you is, do you happen to have a Shopify website or something that allows you to sell accessories and ship?
No.
Okay. So again, I'm just looking for ways to help you guys make more money, right? Because you're going to have an email list, which is great. And you've got a lot of people who've rented from you and whatnot. And again, there's people that are going from, you know, where you are, and they're heading back up north for the, you know, whether it's the summer, the winter, or whatever. Some people will actually create a separate web link. So I'll give you an example. If you were to go to Pedego Blue Ridge, you'll see their Pedego Blue Ridge website. One of the rules of being a Pedego store is you want to definitely want to maintain MAP pricing, which is manufactured advertised price, which is MSRP, which is full manufacturer suggested retail price, which is great. That's a policy. So Pedego doesn't want you discounting bikes. In other words, this policy of having the bike price firm is online. If any Pedego dealer is discounting bikes on the web, Pedego is going to call you and like ixnay your dealership. Okay. But with everything that, not just the bike, you're still allowed to sell accessories. And so, and I'm going to show you how this works. And so, again, it's just an idea that you can choose to run with or not. If you go to Blue Ridge Electric Fund, that link takes you to this website. And you're seeing Pedegos on that website. Now, the Pedegos are being sold at full price, but they also carry other products, and they also carry accessories. And so what I'm suggesting to you is you can create a Shopify, and you can have people just like this, you know, like go into your products and they're buying clothing, right? So it's you'd be amazed at how many people, if you build your email list, how many people will buy your products on just click of a button. And if you send them over to Pedego Blue Ridge, right? It's just going to take them to the Pedego Electric Bikes Blue Ridge site. Well, you can't, you know, that sale is going to go through Pedego headquarters, which is nothing wrong with that. But if they're buying if they buy a bike, I know you'll get the credit, which is great. But if they buy accessories, I don't know if you get the sale. And there's some accessories that Pedego will have as far as products that you may carry in your store, you may not, but you may have accessories that they don't have. And you can put the accessories that you choose to bring in from other suppliers like QBP or whoever else, SBS or Holly or whoever else. You can put those up on your Shopify and sell them just like what they've done here, right? And they just called it myelectricfund.com. But I mean, I could copy this, put it in an email like this one. Oh, come on, Joe. All right. I'm having a hard time here, but I'm going to. Okay. So I open up this email, and then I can change the link and call it whatever I want. Oh, God, why is this being so difficult? There we go. So the test, let's say I can call this Pedego 58. That's the link. The link itself is actually going to take people to myelectricfund.com. So if I click on this link, I'm going to end up going to that. So you can create your own link. It'll say Pedego 58, but it'll go to it. It won't go to the Pedego website. It'll go to your Shopify account or whatever your online account is. So you can embed that in an email. Go visit our website. It doesn't have to be the Pedego website. It's specifically your website. And there's a great opportunity for you to generate more revenue through email. And the email is a list of names that you've already got. It's called your database. That's why they called it gold mining. It's mine your database. And the worst case scenario is, they unsubscribe from your email list. Okay, who cares? I'm not going to take it personally. It's just an email. And the numbers don't have to be huge for them to be effective. You can get, if you had 1,000 people on an email list and you ended up getting a 1%, right? That's 10 people that buy something. That's great, right? If 10 sales out of a click, and I'm telling you, there's a ton of stores that are doing this exact process. So, it's easy money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Are there any other new customer?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no worries. So is Matthew wrenching bikes right now?
No, he just went to get the customer and Shelley just went to answer the phone.
Got it. Okay. So when I'm looking over everything else that we had to cover, there was the map. You call the 5 shops, which is great. So you have your price, which is great. The quotes are done. I sent you the Vidyard and stuff. I'm going to mention Calendly. Did you guys get, did Matthew print off a copy of these for you? Well, I say these and I didn't share my screen. So hang on. I sent this over to Matthew. Bear with me. I sent the Pedego dealer. Did you guys get this?
Matthew just said, no, he has not.
Okay.
Printed.
So I'm going to strongly encourage Matt. I know I've sent it over. So, and I can resend it if Matthew needs be so that he has it on an email.
No, he has it. He just hasn't printed it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Even if you have, this alone can go into a store policy and procedures manual. And of course you can edit it to the way you want. So whether it's this or if it's this, which this also includes your top 3 objections and what words that you could use, and then the after sale follow-up, which include putting somebody in a buyer form with an automated sequence, sending them an email immediately, sending out a card, old school snail mail, a follow-up call 10 days. It's all there. And I know I sent this over. This is just a cleaner version of the sales template. The benefit for you is that you can have that. You can have this put on onto a clipboard. There's literally nothing stopping you from just to get to know all of these steps so that you can just imprint it into your mind. And it's just a guideline. And you just, okay, so who's the bike for? Who else going to use it? Okay. And I mean, Confucius say bad handwriting better than good memory. Nobody's going to be offended by the fact that you're taking notes, especially if you're hugely busy. There's some stores that they've made it a habit now where they just walk around with a clipboard and they ask people questions. And you can imagine when you're dealing with 7, 8, 9 people all at once and couples, you're just writing the couples' names down so that you don't forget them, right? Because people love the sound of their name. And I think it's polite just to mention people by name. So you just use the clipboard. You've got everything there. And again, it's just a basic template. It's a foundation. If you've got the time when you ask somebody, hey, so where you said that you're going to ride this, to work. I'm using as the work example. And they say, yeah, where do you work? And I mean, you want to be curious. You want to ask questions as opposed to let me be interesting. I'd rather be interested. That's what's going to help build that relationship with people. So, okay. Matthew's got homework. Excellent. Is he still outside?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's talking to the customer.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do, ladies. I'm going to do something on what's called Screencastify. I'm going to start the Screencastify, and I'm going to record a video to Dawn at Pedego. This is my version of you doing this. I'm going to record this call, and it's going to be like just a couple minutes, and I'm going to ask you the following. So first I'm going to say hello to Dawn, Tom, Cassidy, and Wendy, because this process, once it's done, they're going to receive this video. And if you're happy with the way the training went, they get the video, and then they're going to give the store credit for a free platinum.
Awesome.
Cool? Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible support that, like, there is no other bike brand that goes this far to support you. Like, none. Like, it's when I say believe and belief is powerful. Like, the level of belief that you can have that Pedego provides you is like, if somebody were to say to me, yeah, I don't believe in the level of service that Pedego provides, I'd be like, are you like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Like, what the hell? Like, I think I told you, I've worked with BH, I've worked with Trek, and I've worked with Pro Cycle, and they don't go half as far as what Pedego does for their dealers. So that's like, so you know that if they're supporting you, because what I've noticed is that every Pedego dealer supports their end customer to the 10th degree in comparison to any other bike shop. So it's always a pleasure for me to work with Pedego stores because, like, you honestly care. Like, part of my French, I'm French Canadian, so I can say you honestly give a shit, and it makes a difference, right? Like it does. So we're gonna do a quick video, and then I will send Matthew a copy of this video. I'd love to get Matthew on video as well, but I can do that separately. And then I'm gonna send the video that we're about to make and the video that I'll make with Matthew over to Dawn and the team, and then I'm going to ask your permission, just like I tell you to do with your clients over here. Are you okay with me posting the video that we're about to do on my social media? You can say no, and then I won't do it. But I have to send the video over to Dawn and the team one way or another, because that way you get your credit.
I'm okay, Joe. I don't know.
Hey!
I'm not going to speak for them.
Yeah.
You guys okay with it? Excellent. Matthew, are you in on this video, buddy?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Right on. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on Screencastify. It's gonna be real quick. In fact, I'm gonna try a new app that I just got called yeah, this is so new. It's called Awesome Screenshot, and it's a screen recorder. So I don't know how long I'm allowed to record for, but yeah, I'm gonna put it on my, save it into. I've got 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, it's not gonna take 5 minutes. All right, so bear with me. Hopefully this works. All right, we'll go with this in 3, 2. Hey everybody at Pedego Incorporated, it's Joe Marcoux from Joe Marcoux Sales Training, and I'm with the team from Pedego 58. I've got Matthew, who's giving us the wave behind Shelly, Kathy, and Carly, who's at home. Say hello to everybody there, guys.
Hello.
So Dawn, Tom, Cassidy, and Wendy, we just, this is our 5th call with the team over at Pedego 58, and I'm gonna ask everybody, guys and gals, and I say guys as a group, how's the training been over the last few calls? How's everything gone?
Excellent.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. Carly, how about you?
Thumbs up. Been good.
Awesome. So Matthew, as the business owner, with the other Pedego stores or electric bike stores that would be watching this video, what would you say was one of the biggest takeaways for you as a business owner in the Pedego ecosystem?
For me, the benefit is you helping these ladies who are the front line here at the store learn how to deal with all of the objections. That's the biggest thing. Your product is expensive. How do we deal with that? You've given them the tools to do just that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm curious, ladies, what did you think of the concept of the SOS, the sales objection system? Did you get a lot of benefit out of that?
Yes. Yes.
You're allowed to say yes.
Yes, we did.
One of the things that we also talked about was having a strategy in place so that you could be able to negotiate a close with a customer, and you don't necessarily have to call somebody else. And just today, I mean, Kathy, you were telling me about a client with emphysema that he actually asked you, how did he pose the question for the deal?
He wanted to know if he paid cash, could we talk about the credit card charge? Like,
Right.
Yeah, wasn't necessarily the price of the bike, but yet the charge that we get for using the credit card.
Exactly. So one of the things that's interesting is we get that question in the retail industry, in the bike industry, what kind of deal can you give me? And it comes in different disguises, right?
Yes.
I want to applaud you, Matthew, for having women on the floor. This is one of the challenges that I see in the bicycle industry. There's not enough women in our industry. And coming from the exercise equipment industry in the beginnings of my sales career, it was dominated by men. And it's great to see this shift in thinking that we're having more women on the sales floor, because the reality is we did this customer avatar. We're seeing a lot more women coming in. Are you finding, like, just quickly between all of you, what's the percentage of your business that you see being sold to women?
Sold? 50%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's pretty evenly split.
Yeah.
Right.
But the interest is higher in women, I think.
Awesome.
What you see is the women are driving the couple into the store, and then I
Yes.
saw 2 bikes.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. So would you recommend other Pedego stores watching this video to take on this kind of training, Matthew?
You have to. You really
Awesome.
need to. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know what? On behalf of Pedego 58, and again, I've said this before to Dawn and the team over at Pedego Corporate, I think it's awesome the level of support that you give these fine folks. I can tell you they're ready to crank out more bikes. You just got to build more bikes as fast as you can. We know it's a challenge. So, hey, thanks very much, Pedego. We appreciate you guys. And Pedego 58, great job. I'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Joe.
Joe.
Thank you.
All right. So now that that's my video testimonial. So that's it. So I'll send you over a copy of that, Matthew, and thank you all very much. And then you'll get a credit from Pedego for a free platinum. And now I understand that they're changing the name of the platinum, or the black edition. It's going to be the Platinum City Commuter, even though it's going to be black, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's, and I don't know what all of the reasoning behind that is, but, and I'm assuming that they're going to have other platinum versions, because some of the feedback that I've received is they would like to see, or some dealers are asking, they'd like to see platinum edition bikes, like have the platinum edition, but in different colors. Do you see a need for that? Like have the platinum edition the platinum edition Interceptor, but have it available in, red, or have it available, like, no?
Yeah, I don't agree. Matthew says yes, I don't agree. I think that's silver, and that's a classy look to it. If you're gonna pay top dollar for a bike that has everything, I just think that's a real classy color.
I think it's
Okay.
time to sell women.
Well, you shouldn't be selling women.
I mean, selling women
Well-
like platinum.
This looks like more of a guy's bike.
The platinum or the black edition are like industrial colors. I want a coral Interceptor. Platinum Interceptor. I'm more able to sell it.
But what if it was but if it was a step through instead of
Yeah,
a
'cause it's a
classic
classic
with
and it's
Yeah.
looking a masculine color.
yeah, no, I think the silver is beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that was really nice in a step through.
I'm also curious, and again, I'm still recording, so I could get my get it edited and just throw that in. But I mean, you're on the front lines, and I think it's important for you to be able to relay information back to corporate in terms of what you think might be necessary as far as product design. I mean, I know this has been all sales centric, and I appreciate the testimonial and everything. You'll see how I post that stuff. But when I was a rep, whether it was for ProCycle or whether it was for Vision Fitness or whether it was for Easy Motion, I found it important to be able to take note of, like, you're the ones who were in front of the customer, like. And I don't know how much interaction you actually have with your manufacturing partner right now, but one of the things that I know they do a good job of is they do have a steering committee. And the steering committee they've got about 10 stores that they'll listen to and get feedback from. I still think it would be interesting to just get your feedback right now. And I'm happy to send it over because, I'll send it over to like Dawn, Tom, Wendy, Cassidy. So that way they'll hear what you have to say in terms of product design. So my question is, if you were building a product from the ground up, what would it look like? What would its price point be? And what are features that you feel are necessary to make sellable? Forget about the fact that it needs to be available. That's obvious. Who wants to go first?
I don't know, coming out with that comfort cruiser with the pedal assist and the throttle and taking it down a notch as far as, the comfort in the grips and the seat and the post and all that kind of stuff. I think that was a great idea. I really do, because it opens these bikes up to a whole different class of people.
Right. That's 1995 now?
I'm sorry?
Is that 1995 for that?
Yep.
If you were to tell me, what do I lose from going from an Interceptor pedal assist to a comfort cruiser with pedal assist? Like, I know it's 48 volt to 36, which means it's got to be a 350 watt motor, not a 500, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
We also have the Fat Franks, the tires on the Interceptor, where you just had the knobby tires on the comfort cruiser.
Yeah.
Just the whole feel of it just feels like it's lighter. You know what I mean? You get on the Interceptor and it just feels like a solid, classy kind of bike. And then you get on the other one and you say, okay, this feels like it's affordable. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that sometimes I don't focus on a lot of it, but you're bringing up a really good point, Kathy, is that because I don't like getting caught up in the idea of talking about geometry, right? In the bike world, the way that you're positioned on a bike frame is called your geo, right? And that's cycling terms. However, the way that you feel on a bike when it feels like the bike envelops you as opposed to you having to kind of lean over. And I'm not dismissing the comfort cruiser, but I can tell you just by sitting on a comfort cruiser versus sitting on an Interceptor, and I haven't even pedaled it yet, I know I'm going to be more comfortable on the Interceptor. And that's an issue of geometry, right? So it's our job in the sales process to point that out, right? I talk about using the finger method so that it's like, hey, I just want to be clear. I want you to get a sense before you ride. Can you feel the difference between what you just previously rode? Can you already feel the difference? There's a little bit of a positioning change. You're going to feel that while you ride. And that's part of our job. I mean, I'm not here to sell you on the fact that, I mean, it's obvious if that bike's $29.95 and this one's $19.95, it should be blatantly obvious that the $29.95 one is better. Now it's just a question of what's the justification in that price. So you just told me, well, one's going from 48 volt, the other one's 36. So you can't get a 36 volt system with a 500 watt motor. So it's got to be a 350 watt motor. So you've got a slightly smaller motor, which is fine. Are the levels of pedal assist the same? Is it 1 through 6? Is it the same display? What about gears? Is it the same shifter?
Mhm.
Is the, I understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, the current, like the 2995 Interceptor is now going hydraulic disc brakes. The Comfort Cruiser is going to stay mechanical. Is that the fact? I don't know.
It is eventually, they're all gonna have the hydraulic disc brake.
Including the Comfort Cruiser?
No.
Okay. So again, now, okay. So, but right now, in terms of inventory that you have, the Interceptor that you have is currently mechanical disc brakes and not hydraulic yet. Okay. But that'll be another.
My mistake. The two we just got in are the hydraulic disc brakes.
I've heard that sound before. Okay. That's great.
I was
So
thinking
going over the
the adjustable handlebars on all the bikes, not just the Boomerang, the City Commuter, and the Trike.
Oh, so the Interceptor has it? Adjustable handlebar stem?
No, they don't, but I think they should. People love that handlebar.
This is one of the reasons why, and you bring up a really good point, and I want to share this with you. This is one of the things that, again, some stores, when they kit out a Ridge Rider, they put the actual Metro bars, so like an Interceptor bar on a Ridge Rider with a riser stem, which you can manually adjust. Because, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. The thing with the manual adjustment with an Allen key is most people, when they set up the adjustable stem, I think we all agree, almost, I'll just say 90% of them for sure or more, once they set it, they forget it. It's like a slow cooker, right? You set it, you're never going to readjust it. But from a sales perspective, the idea of being able to adjust it if you want to, just the fact that it's there is great. Or the idea that, hey, Joe, you're 5'9" and your wife is 5'6", and you might have a longer reach, and you're sharing this bike as a second vehicle, right? Well, now you have the adjustable stem so that you can adjust the bike to fit both of you a little bit more comfortable. Well, that to me is a huge selling feature. Now, yes, some stores will say, hey, I can sell this as an accessory aftermarket. There's a cost for install, blah, blah, blah. That's great, which I think you should take that ability. But if you want to be able to sell more of that, like, bang on, Kathy. But the other thing is, I was at a top 5 Pedego store, and using the finger method is so important here, because this top 5 dealer was going out for rides with a customer, and it was a guy who was dealing with Mrs. Customer, and she was out, and they had ridden too many bikes, but it doesn't matter. Long and short of it, I was sitting there with her husband, and he said, I don't care which one she wants. I'm just here to make sure that we get a good deal. So I knew that they were going to buy. And here's what happened. This top 5 dealer and Mrs. Customer came back in from another ride, and she was confused. She says, I don't know which one I want. And they had driven in over an hour. And this guy proceeded to say, well, this one has this one has that. And he even said, this one has the adjustable stem, this one doesn't. And I can tell you, like, unequivocally, she didn't know what a stem was, let alone that it was adjustable. Like, he just barfed it, right? So this is so important to just stop and just go, this has this feature and this one doesn't. Like, and I think we can all agree that alone is it's just like, this has it, this doesn't. So you should go with this. Like, that's why I love the Boomerang, because if I can, all things being equal, because it's inventory, if I can go up to a Boomerang and go, check it out, and, before I even go for my mini spin where I go, I've got this really cool adjustable stem, left finger, push the button, raise it by 1/2 inch, hang onto the handlebar, then I can do it. and people just go, oh my God, that's so cool. Meanwhile, we know it's cool, but it's no different. That adjustable handlebar stem is no different than the reaction that they're going to have when they sit down on a Connect seat post or they ride the bike with pedal assist for the first time. It's a wow factor. So if you put these added little things, just say, check this out, and you show people, you're absolutely right. And yeah, I would agree. The stem, like an aftermarket stem's not expensive, and you can add it to every bike. In fact, you should be able to add it aftermarket if you wanted to the Comfort Cruiser, but then you end up taking away from Interceptor sales if you were to do that. You know what I mean? So, but you should be able to if the head tube and headset is correct. What else would you like to see on standard feature on a Pedego? Are there any colors that you're looking for?
Well, the thing that I don't understand is that new Comfort Cruiser, the 24-inch, is this really cute coral with teal wheels. I'm kind of tall. I can't get that color in a 26-inch. Like, tall girls don't like cute colors, apparently.
Okay.
I mean, right, but I mean, why aren't any colors available for all the bikes?
Right.
Like,
So
seriously,
they
I
can
don't
more
get.
out, you know,
Yeah.
if they do them a certain amount, you know, it gets them out faster.
Yeah, but it just seems like
Messy.
you're spending that much money on a bike, you should get any color you want. Not any color, but within their color range. Like,
Yeah.
why are only certain bikes available in these colors, but then this bike's available in these colors? You know what I mean?
And I can play devil's advocate because I don't work for Pedego, and I'm just going to, based on experience. There's the top colors being sold in the bike business are black, white, silver, right? Like, I mean, they're nice, but they're boring, right? Like, they're not flashy colors. Then you get into reds, blues, and then the numbers really drop. So the challenge becomes how many bikes can you build in production for the manufacturer, because they don't want to be stuck with inventory either. And then it's bike size, bike frame. Is it step through? Is it classic? Is it now they've got 29er, 26, 24. So I get it. Like when at Easy Motion, because I was privy to all the details. Like we had we had a bright yellow and blue bike. So the color combo was just like, this is love it or hate it. And unfortunately, it was 50-50. I mean, I think the coral bike, it seems to me like that's logical. So, because I mean, Matthew just said coral earlier, you just said coral. So it seems to me like make that one available, right?
And, you know, I think a lot of women would like that, but if you're tall, you can't get it. You know, it's weird that only that size. Like, I can understand, I guess, more just the step throughs are getting, you're not gonna make a classic, you know, the Interceptor. I mean, the Platinum Edition, all these girly looking colors. I get that, but why just the 24-inch and not the 26-inch in the same exact model?
Right.
That I don't understand exactly, but I mean.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to send them a little, feedback information, and like anything else, it's just information for them to go, okay. Yeah. The more feedback they get from you, the more they're able to create what the market wants. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important. How about you, Carly? Is there anything in particular in your experience so far where it's like, hey, this would be really great. This would help.
I mean, me and Shelley were talking about the colors, the coral color in particular the other day. And then the adjustable handlebars and stuff, that's definitely one of those things that should be on every bike, because that is just a wow factor for anyone. Yeah. I mean, apart from that, that's about it.
What's up?
Yeah, I think that they should develop some rear rack accessories that take advantage of the fact that we have a standard size for a rack. So like Topeak has a rear rack trunk bag that clicks into their system.
Yeah.
It's it real easy, real convenient. You can do a lunch bag and take it right off.
Yeah.
With ours, it's very hard to use a standard pannier or trunk bag because you have to thread it between
Oh,
the
yeah.
battery and the rack to get
Yeah.
it on. And it makes it a pain in the ass. You know, the premium pannier has a handle on top, like you can take it into the office, but it's a pain in the ass to get it on and off the bike. So you're not going to take it in the office.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. So you really can't just pull it right off.
I mean, you can if you don't connect it all the way. If you just connect it like around the seat post so it doesn't slide off the back, you could. But if you've got like your laptop on one side, it's going to go cattywampus. So if there was some sort of, you know, like the Thule child seats, you know, they have like a click system, so they just clamp on. There are a couple of other accessory products that have similar, like I use Topeak as an example, that use their proprietary rack to click in. Well, I would say 95% of our bikes, I mean, basically everything but the mountain bikes, has the exact same rack with the exact same dimensions. It's wider than a standard rack. So
Yeah.
we should be able to create accessories that click in and click out of that easy.
I know of a fitness manufacturer that happens to also make heavy duty patio style furniture. It's called Sunset Swings, and it's like heavy duty. Like I leave my stuff out at my cabin in the winter. I don't even bring it in. It's just, and the fabric as well. Like I just leave it out. Okay. And what's interesting is like the seats themselves have a 400-pound user capacity, and it's Velcro. So it's not cheap Velcro, but it's just a Velcro that goes around the steel. But yeah, I mean, so I think the idea of that similar type of Velcro where you just, here, put it on, there's no way that Velcro is going to come loose, but then you could just go rip it out and then walk in, right?
Right. And I've had other dealers tell me that they bought the Topeak one and they've cut the struts off of it.
Okay.
Zip tied it to ours
Yeah.
to use. So it just
Right.
seems like we could develop an entire line of Pedego specific. I mean, you know, I'm sure we're just embroidering stuff.
I mean, are you, again, because I can't see the store's walls, are you just purchasing Pedego accessories, or are you, yeah, so are there other accessories that would actually retrofit, or they don't? Because in this case, like the Topeak, you've got to actually cut some pieces off, and I call that AIM, right? You got to adjust, improvise, and modify.
Yep.
Right. So
we've gotten snoozer pet carriers for the back rack that are made for a standard rack.
yeah,
We have to cut out some foam to make it fit our rack.
right.
That's obviously not what the manufacturer intended.
Sure.
But that's fine. I can deal with that. But yeah.
Basketball.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm just surprised that they don't have things that are more built for our specifically for our rack.
Okay. I can talk to Eric Vo, who's the accessory product development manager. I mean, Eric and I both work together at Easy Motion, so I've known him for 10 years.
I thought of something else, Joe.
Yeah.
Why don't they put fenders on all the bikes?
Why don't they?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that,
I
that doesn't
just-
make sense to me.
I know.
The reason is the beach cruiser, the classic beach cruiser style bike, typically doesn't come with fenders. And I didn't understand this either when I first started at Pedego. I'm like, what? And it was Dawn who said, listen, a beach cruiser is sunny days. It's generally never raining. It's a fair weather product. So the fenders, you know, we make them an option, but they don't come standard with the bike. What a lot of the dealers do is they throw in the fenders because they go from that $29.95 or $30, what used to be $32.95 price point, and now they have to bring it up by an extra $60 for, you know, a couple of pieces of fender. I'm not dismissing what you're saying. I can't speak for Pedego, but their reasoning behind it is, hey, we're selling a beach cruiser. If you want a city commuter, you don't want the skunk line of wetness behind you. That's where you get your your fenders. You can still get the fenders, but the Pedego line that I've heard them say to dealers is, we offer you the fenders as an accessory that you can make money on. If your customer truly wants to get fenders for their beach cruiser, but beach cruisers themselves typically don't come with fenders. So I understand where they're coming from, but I'm stuck in the middle here. So I understand where you're at. I totally get it, because I felt the exact same way you did.
Well, I just mean you're asking so you can add to the list.
No, I'll make a point of it. I'll let them know.
The boomerang's not a beach cruiser. So if you're going to put them on the city commuter, maybe you could put them on the boomerang too.
Okay.
Because they're on so far back order right now that we are actually holding on to 2 boomerangs waiting for the fenders so we can deliver them.
Wow.
Yeah. They gave us no frame of when they'll be in either. It's indefinite.
Are you asking as well, fenders on interceptors in standard?
No, boomerangs.
Just a boomerang. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Because you're right, it's not a beach cruiser. It's a completely different design. Yeah, and that's really, like, for lack of a better term, I think it's a great design, but it's a great senior's bike.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a game changer. Have you considered making a custom trike with Pedego parts, like using a different trike?
Oh, you told us about the guy that put the big fat tires on and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. And they were selling it originally at $29.95, and I said that thing can sell for $36.95. And they were selling them for $36.95 after. You know, because Rick was putting in so much time to, like, he was building it. He had to put it in a whole new bottom bracket, torque sensor. I mean, it was work. But anyways.
We don't have anybody here that has that kind of time or talent to do that. Well, Matthew's probably got the talent, but
Time.
yeah, time is.
What about marketing? If you were to do, like, are you happy with the way that Pedego markets itself? I mean, you know, even Don would admit that the Shatner campaign didn't work, which, you know, is unfortunate. But, you know, I get kudos to them. They're throwing stuff out there to see what's going to work and help drive traffic into your stores, whereas a lot of other manufacturers don't. What would you like to see Pedego do to help you drive more customers? I mean, you have a responsibility to do stuff, and I've said it to you. You know, you got to do videos, you got to do testimonials, that's part of your job. But what would you like to see corporate do to help you?
So I think that Shelley or Carly brought this up in one of our first meetings. You know, the unfortunate thing about us being in coastal North Carolina, and this is our fault for choosing it, is that from a pricing standpoint, we're priced for Southern California.
Right.
That's the Pedego pricing model. So they've fully said that they want to have, this week, they said they want to have as many Pedegos as there are Whole Foods. Except here's the difference. Whole Foods is all corporate, and so they can change their prices regionally. We can't. So I can't, you know, I've got a different financial demographic, if you will, versus somebody in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Houston. So it's hard to so that's part of why Kathy's asking so much about the Comfort Cruiser today. We're really looking forward to the Element, because that's a price point that's closer to where people here feel like they can afford. They can't afford a Platinum.
Right. The cool thing in I don't know if you overheard the conversation about, you know, you creating a Shopify website and being able to email people. I mean, Matthew, in your off season, when you've got the time, because I know right now you're running around like a chicken with his head cut off, but when you've got the time to be able to create, and that goes into your non-urgent list, right? Like, creating a Shopify for you would be, like, I think that would be quite honestly, it's money. That's revenue, because you can ship anywhere.
Right. I talked about it after the meeting in December.
Yeah.
Yeah. because, but you know, we were concerned with how much shipping we're going to do, how much packaging, how much time does that take, the staff. And I think it's really an expectations game. I mean, if you tell people you're going to ship it the second it comes, that can be a problem. But if you know that, you know, we close the store at 5 and from 5 to 6, we package anything and then it ships the next day.
But you and I, and Carly, because you're still on the call, I mean, you've ordered things from the giant, which is Amazon, right? Carly, you have?
Mm-hmm.
There are some vendors, even on Amazon, that they tell you that's going to be X amount of days. You can ship it for free, but it's going to take a certain amount of time to be able to get it, correct?
Right.
So you can set the expectation for the client, right? I mean, and again, it's in your email where they're going to click on Pedego 58, but it's taking them to the, call it whatever you want, website. It's yours. And you're not taking anything away from Pedego because you're not necessarily selling Pedego bikes, but you're selling other accessories and or anything else that's going to help drive revenue to your bottom line. And that could be rentals for the following year. You know, like, I don't know, you could come up with programs.
I have a dumb question, Joe, because
No
you
dumb
work
question.
with Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Does he have on his site, and I just pulled it up on my computer, but I haven't obviously during our conversation explored it much, but does he say that Pedegos can drop ship out of state with no sales tax?
I don't know. I that's a great question. I would check it. I mean, here's the way that I would play that. And again, I'm just giving you information and you use it the way you want. If you've got a list, you've got an email list that you're relating to someone on, and then you've either gotten them to reply or you're in direct message with, my strategy is always, how do I get you from this ecosystem to the phone? Like as soon as I get you here and you've gone into my email and if you're interested in buying something, I want you on the phone, because the products that we're talking about here aren't cheap. And that's where I can use my skills to get you to make a buying decision. And I can tell you, listen, because you're out of state, I can sell it to you and ship it to you, and you're going to save state tax. So you can ask, hey, what's your state tax over there? You got your phone or your calculator nearby, 5%. Well, that's going to save you right off the hop, $250. So you're able to, and again, they're on your list. It's not like you're going into, Pedego Rancho Santa Margarita and you're taking people out of Alan's list. That's not what you're doing.
Right.
If you're marketing online or they come into your email list because you've been able to do email capture, it's fair game, man.
Yeah.
It's just that, isn't it? Because you're going to do it in Emerald Isle. You're going to do it near you. Well, now you have the ability to do it globally.
I just shipped 2 bikes to Montana.
Good, right? I mean, so why not? And if you wanted to, you could do geo-targeting in areas where there isn't a Pedego dealer. For example,
Even better, though, I told her that I'd get her basically the commission that I would give anybody here in accessories if she sold to one of her friends, because they'd also get, because she's going to sell it. There's the nearest dealer is 4.5 hours. They're not going to go to Jackson Hole.
right?
They're going to call me.
Yeah, and what you could even go to a step further, and don't ask me, I have no idea how to do it, but I know people who do, right? This delegation is getting something that's called Tap Affiliate, and they become an affiliate. And you say, listen, you know what? Use this link, send it over to people, you create a funnel, they jump into the funnel. If they end up buying, then they get a commission.
Right.
I mean, and it's a great way to help scale your business, and it's automated, right? So you delegate the task to have somebody build the funnel, and then you get Tap Affiliate to do it. But I'll give you an example. Like right now, there's nobody in Chicago.
Or New York.
Pardon me?
Or New York.
Or Toronto. Like, so you have New York, Toronto, Chicago. Like you've got over 20 million people that are not getting served for Pedego, the #1 brand. Like the picture and the sound don't match. So I've been tempted But if I started doing it, then it'd be like, well, hey, Joe, you're selling Pedegos and you're our trainer. So I like, especially when COVID hit, I was really I was ready to call up Mike Clyde, the Canadian distributor, and go, okay, man, nobody's in Toronto. Like, really? 7 million people? I'll help you sell some bikes. You know? Now the problem is nobody's got bikes, but it doesn't matter. But still, I would, if again, it's just information, man. If I'm you, you could Google AdWord target, geo-target a geographical space. You could crush it. You could, it's like a $5 ad spend a day could net you, like, I mean, one bike sale will pay for it.
Yeah.
And then you take the ad spend and you figure it out. Chris is actually setting this up right now with a couple of dealers where he's doing the testing. Chris is paying for it himself. And he's basically creating a thing where people are paying for a rental, and what they pay online pays for the ads, so that the ad is free. And then all it does is it's a money-making machine where people are paying for the ad space through a rental, but then what it's actually doing is paying for you to be able to do more advertising, to get more people in your list so you can create a bigger, you know what I mean? It's pretty ingenious. I don't know how the hell you do it. I don't want to. I want to keep doing this, man. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's great. So marketing-wise, otherwise, is there promotions that you'd like to see them do? Or, again, you're in a smaller market. You know how they are. Like, they want to see you sell more bikes. So,
The Christmas deal every year is beneficial. And they probably don't need, well, certainly right now they don't need to, because they don't need more demand. But some sort of summer deal or end of season deal, like Thule does sort of an end of season deal in August, September, help them move inventory out right at the end. It helps me get stuff out of the store. I don't know. That would be beneficial instead of just the Christmas push.
Right. I think it's a great idea. It's just a question of, again, inventory being what it is.
Yep. This year, yeah.
Do you think that, and I'm just thinking outside of the box now because I don't know what the answer would be. Do you think that Pedego will have an expectation for everybody to have this, an unseasonably large piece of growth next year? Like, not, because we don't know what's going to happen with COVID.
Right. I think that if next year is flat, they'd be ecstatic.
No kidding.
I mean, if they plateaued now and just rode that, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
The growth was so exponentially high this year that they would be fine staying there for a year and getting, working out the kinks in the manufacturing pipeline and their stock. And I think Don's been talking about getting a bigger space out there, so they could have more bikes in stock, more accessories, more parts.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be beneficial, but that's all supply chain stuff they've got to figure out. So if we grow too much more than this, they're really going to have a problem if they haven't gotten that worked out.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So how about, what's something that you would have, was there anything missing in terms of this type of training? I'm asking everybody, was there something that you would have preferred? Did you, again, I don't go into specs because that's not my job, right? Like, but is there anything in terms of the sales training itself that you would have liked to have more information of?
Covered everything that was helpful for me.
Right on.
Well, I had seen all your videos when I first got hired. So this was kind of a refresher course from what I saw already.
Nice. Good. Carly?
Yeah, no, I'm just learning. So, any extra tips or, just to me, it was the trying to be pushy, but not too pushy. Like I noticed a couple of things I didn't do. Like I didn't push people to take the Pedegos out and stuff. So now I'm more conscious of that. I'm more comfortable doing it. And, just knowing what to say when people come up with, odd questions instead of just freezing on the spot. So no, it's been very interesting.
Right on. Well, that's good feedback. I mean, for me, the important thing is, I'm always, I spend a lot of money on continuing education so I can keep learning and I add more things so that I can keep providing value for you guys. And I encourage you to do the same. I mean, I'm not the only sales trainer obviously out there. I just love this space because it makes a difference in people's lives. So fantastic. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to let you go on that note. This was great. This was great fun. Appreciate you all very much. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
guys, I mean, Matthew, if there's and that includes everybody. If you guys have any questions, I mean, I'm part of your team. Like, just email. You know, just say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or I had this customer who was a complete, you know, pothead who came in or whatever. But like, I'm good with, you know, I'm in this for the long haul. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah,
Guys.
thank you.
Share all the videos once you get this one to me so that they can go back and review anything.
Yeah, and one of my tricks, by the way, when I do Zoom videos and I do like coaching calls with my coach, I'll watch the Zoom videos at like 2x speed so that I can like, so if it's like an hour long, I can do it in half an hour because I don't have that kind of time. So I just click and I'll do it sometimes when I'm like on my stair climber in the morning at like 5 a.m. I'm watching, you know, some stuff so I can like leverage. All right. Be good.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.